Wrestlemania Wrestling Figure Edition, where we talk about everything we love about wrestling figures, what wrestling figures we collect, what we grew up with, what lines, everything wrestling figures.
Everything wrestling.
And I'm not in the video because Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and the NWO, along with Mattel Ultimate Hollywood Hogan rocking out in front of me.
New World Order.
So I brought. Hi, I'm Rich,
I'm Chris.
and you're watching the Never Enough Toys podcast, WrestleMania Wrestling Figure Review Day, or whatever you want to talk about it. It's WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
Today is day 2. We just got over night 1. I don't have Peacock, so I have not seen it.
Oh my God!
But-
wait, you don't have Peacock?
I can't get it on my TV, nor can I get it on my Roku.
The phone has been.
I know everybody says you should have watched it on your phone. You could stream it right to your TV if you do that, but I didn't. And
Oh man.
So I missed out on first night. But I know I got updates, and I see what happened. Listen. I am a big wrestling fan.
Of course.
All right.
As I-
But I am not a Thunderdome guy.
Come on.
I'm sorry. Listen, I
chance.
think last night kind of proved it. Wrestling needs the crowds, man.
It was great with the crowd.
During this pandemic problem that the world is going through right now, wrestling kind of took a major hit by not being able to bring in fans. Well, I mean, all sports, all business, everybody has been truly affected by this COVID-19 pandemic that went over the fucking world. And wrestling was no different. A lot of people lost their, excuse me, spitting.
Jobs.
I'm spitting COVID everywhere. A lot of people lost their jobs.
Double vaccinated, by the way.
Good for you, brother.
Yep.
Also, the crowd needs to be. The wrestlers feed off of us.
Yeah, it's
we are,
true.
like Warrior always said, we are the power of the Warriors and all that. Like we give them what they give to us. It's all back and forth.
Yeah.
So being that, Vince McMahon controls what's said, what's done in the ring, how it's finished, and now he gets to control what the crowd does. Watching Raw and SmackDown is a little painful. I mean, the past year has been rough because it's like, how do you react to fake reactions? Like Roman Reigns was getting a "you suck" chant, but there's no real people there, so it's like you have to fake react to something like that.
I don't know. Maybe there is a small layer of reality in those because, like the other day at the Hall of Fame ceremony, Rob Van Dam is in the middle of his speech, and there's other people that the chants were going on, and they would come in and they would come out, but his chant was the only one that drowned him out to the point where he had to stop his speech and wait for it to.
And this was.
I see, but that's what I'm
Is this
saying.
fake?
Is it
Is
fake
this a
or is
soundboard?
it not? Because everybody else.
Was there people that were fans in attendance of the Hall of Fame?
It was Thunderdome.
So it's just screens.
Yes.
So
But there
no.
was wrestlers there too. I don't know if maybe they had their
See, now
reactions.
I think the wrestler, I think AEW does really cool. Has the wrestlers out
Right.
during the matches and stuff. So the wrestlers who are in the company and they are rooting on other wrestlers. Like you get that crowd feeling.
Yeah, the E was doing that for a little while too, but then I think they've gotten in some heat because then it was making COVID a little more, and then it was spreading.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, it is WrestleMania.
Yeah, and we're excited about wrestling,
And it's a year after this pandemic has started,
and the fans are back.
and the fans are back.
Yes.
Tampa Bay. But unfortunately, night 1 was kind of delayed a little bit. Some weather because they're outdoors. But there are people, and I watched a live video from WrestleMania before the show had started, and you had all those superstars on the stage, and there was kind of like a welcoming back, a introduction to each other, the crowd to the wrestlers and superstars. So I think it's really cool that it's back. So
Yeah.
hopefully the world contain this thing and we can continue on.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome to have the fans back and be able to go to a WrestleMania again. I get the reminders of the WrestleMania that we went to just
Yes,
recently.
2 years ago.
We went to
in
2019.
WrestleMania 35. I don't know. I have the hat. What WrestleMania is it? 35, right?
35.
WrestleMania 35. This is the hat from it. Yeah, that was my first WrestleMania.
Wow.
I
My
mean-
first WrestleMania was the year before in New Orleans.
Weren't you out there by like happenstance? Like,
Yeah.
You just happened to be out there and you're just like, oh, let's go
Shout out to
WrestleMania.
Steve Sips and Aileen for getting married out in New Orleans.
Nice.
We just happened to be down there, and I knew what was going on, and I had it in the back of my mind the entire time that we were there. I was like, well, you know, like we're going on a trip together. It's not about me. It's not about, you know, what I want to do. I'm there for these people, and
Right.
they're my friends, and they're awesome. And
Just like, oh, by the way, we're gonna.
yeah, I was like,
Congratulations
yes,
and all.
Congratulations, we love you. We're hanging, chilling out, max and relaxing, all cool. But Sunday there's going to be a WrestleMania, so I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. So come to find out, actually, really cool story. You know, we live in a small town here in Staten Island, New York, and you know, people know people.
Very
so
small island. 7 by 14 miles.
yeah, so we're a tiny little island, and we happen to have some contact with the Impractical Jokers.
Yeah.
So we're talking to our friends, and they happen to be at WrestleMania and said, hey, you know, like we have some comp tickets, extra tickets, you know, in a certain section. Do you guys want them?
Wait a second. You got extra tickets from the Impractical Jokers?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, no, I actually
My
bought.
wife was on was on their
Yeah,
show.
that's right.
I think it's the season finale of the first season.
Yeah.
Where they mess up all their hairs there at my wife's hair salon. My
Yeah.
wife is on that show. My wife did a bunch of hair. I was on there too. They filmed me, but they didn't use me. I'm not good looking enough. I had really
all right.
short hair. I was wearing a vest and I was wearing a t-shirt
funny.
and a vest like Uncle Jesse.
Nice.
They were like, nah.
Yeah. So I actually bought 2 tickets because I was like, I don't really want to chance it. So we bought a set of tickets, and then we got the comp tickets afterwards. So it was like, oh, okay. So now we can all go like comfortably.
Wow.
So the whole crew picked up and was like, all right, we're going. So
Wow, that's a WrestleMania story.
yeah, it was great, and that was my first one where Braun threw the car over the edge, and we were actually like on that side, so it was pretty cool.
What?
Yeah, it was a great experience. I was actually in an elevator at one point with Stephanie McMahon, and I didn't even it didn't even register. Like I'm the type of person where when I see a celebrity, I don't like run out and like, you know, attack them with.
Yeah, me neither.
I give them their space. They're human beings. They're, you know, you got to respect the process. You know, your energy could bleed off onto them, and if you're overly excited, you can, you know, potentially ruin a moment or a
I
chance.
think the most you should ever do is just be like kind of like a knowledge and appreciation of somebody.
Absolutely.
Just like, you know, Ms. McMahon, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you, whatever. But I would never go nuts. Like even when we like go to signings and stuff
Yeah.
like that, I'm never just like, oh my god. Although I did when I met Coed and Cambria. My
Yeah.
wife likes to bring it up. She goes, "You slammed on the table and yelled at them." Coed and Cambria is like one of my favorite bands ever, and I
Yeah.
slammed on the table and I was like, "You are saving rock and roll."
You went all in on that.
Yeah, no, I should not have, but
No, it happens. So, but yeah, it's crazy because you know, you see somebody in person and they're about to go out there. You know, she was like, you know, a little shorter than me and just gorgeous. And
Right.
you know, it was just like one of those like struck moments where, and the people that I was in the elevator with didn't realize who she was.
right.
which was great because it doesn't bother her.
Right.
So I was the only one enjoying the moment. I was just like, wow, this is amazing right now. And then we walked off, and she went into her match with Ronda.
Wow. Very
Sweet.
cool, man. Very cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've just had a couple of just meetings, meet and greets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My WrestleMania.
Well,
it's like,
talk about your meet and greet with
Oh yeah. All right. So this was like me and my wife are. I don't know if she had gone to wrestling events before with her brother and father before,
Yeah.
but I had never. At least I think so. I think I might be remembering wrong, but she'll correct me later. But I had never gone to any wrestling events until like what was it, like 2015? I don't even want to.
Probably.
Right, like 2014.
Yeah.
There was a wrestling event being held at Starland Ballroom out in Jersey.
you're talking about that particular one? That
Yeah.
was 2016, I think, or
Maybe.
yeah.
Starland Ballroom was having some wrestling event with like local wrestlers and stuff, and then they had meet and greets. And on the meet and greet list was Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yep.
And then you had Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, who my wife loves. You and my buddy Mike love Bret the Hitman
Yep.
Hart. Mick Foley, Mankind. I love him. So what they did was like basically you pay for who you want to
Right,
meet.
yes.
Because apparently they kept an eye on what tables you went to.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
They kind of didn't.
Yeah.
So I met Bret Hart without paying for it. I just
Yeah.
met him. I just said hi. I didn't get an autograph, but
So, my Brett story was, it kind of, I guess, in some ways similar to what you had with Coheed, because when I think of Brett as a heroic character, and that's why I've wanted to meet him. I'm like, he's like a hero of mine.
Right.
So, that day was a really rough day for me, actually. I was on the way to Starland Ballroom, and I hit some traffic on Staten Island, and it went from like 45 mile per hour driving all the way to a dead stop. And at the dead stop, I was the lead car in a 6-car pileup.
Jesus.
So I got hit, then the car behind me got hit, so I got hit again.
This is like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it was crazy. The last car or whatever was on fire.
Jeez.
I stayed in my car.
God.
The car that was in front of me did something stupid and stopped short in front of me, so I had to stop short. But
And nobody else behind you.
nobody else behind me was in time.
Atlanta.
So
That's crazy.
I didn't hit the car in front of me because they took off like a banshee, and I'm the lead car. And I just ruined how many people's days. Like I felt like, but here I am. Like it's not my fault. Like
Right.
Out of everybody, the 7 cars, I was not at fault at all because I didn't hit any other car.
So you were able to just drive away.
So
Like, I gotta go meet
Bret Hart, people. So it was like this tragic story of a day, and then being
We had
like,
to wait outside in that. I was sweating my ass off. I remember it being
outside in
so
front,
hot.
it was very hot.
It was
It
August.
was like no covering.
It was August. It was summer. It was hot. It was. Ugh.
Yeah,
But
it was nasty.
that was my first wrestling event. We sat up on the front row on the stage of Starland Ballroom Group, so we were level with the ring.
Nice.
And then a lot of people came out. Rhino came out.
Yep.
Necro Butcher, New Jack, Zach Gowen, Teddy Hart wrestled.
Nice.
It was a great time.
Cool.
So then I think we did. Me and my wife used to always do Raw after SummerSlam because it was usually for the past couple of times it was in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yeah.
So
Barclay.
very easy. And then we did WrestleMania 35, which was
us together.
amazing. It was. I mean, it was kind of cold because it was outside.
Yeah.
In like April, so it's not like summer, spring yet. It's still kind of cold, but
Yeah.
it was a great time.
Yeah, it was definitely a great
I was
time.
able to grab one of the WrestleMania chairs.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Guy was just sold it to me for $100. I was like, yes.
Yeah, that's a win.
because he came from
Couldn't take it on
somewhere
the
else,
plane
couldn't
or
take it on the
something.
plane.
Yeah.
But whoever bought those seats got actually
A
the seat.
chair.
Yeah.
That's so great.
So here we are talking about WrestleMania moments and WrestleMania season, WrestleMania weekend. We're going to talk about all our wrestling toys.
Oh yes,
Okay.
that's the name of the game, guys. Let's talk about wrestling.
What was your first wrestling figure?
I would have to.
Excuse me, Hollywood. You're gonna have to sit down.
It's gonna have to be right here. This bunch.
Stay here. So you
This was the early bunch that came
There
out.
it is, the LJNs.
So back in the day, the LJNs were the first figures that I saw. Growing up, my brother had these.
Listeners, if you're not watching, we have
Andre the Giant here with blue trunks and blue boots. This was one of his looks with the big hair. It's not the black singlet, but this was one that I had from childhood. These are actually all from childhood, and they're very well played with.
They are.
Sheik doesn't have any
Pants anymore.
pants anymore.
His butt.
Yeah, we played with these like so much.
Yeah, my cousins had these. I actually have one.
Macho
I don't. I
Man.
never had any of these. I bought this at a yard sale. I got a Jesse the Body Ventura.
Jesse the
figure.
Body.
If I was gonna get, also have Bobby the Brain Heenan,
Oh, you do?
and I have a Mean Gene. I didn't grow up with these. My cousins had them. These were a little before my time. I didn't have any of them growing up. I think I probably had. No, I had Hogan. You all right over there? What are you doing, Mach? What's going on? Macho Man fell on the recording device.
Yes, he did.
Okay, we're all right.
He started
Actually,
it
you know
over.
what? I think I probably definitely had Hogan. I definitely had that. So everybody knows these. These are the big rubbery ones. They call them.
Yeah.
If you watch the Toys They Made Us, they call them dog toys, which I totally disagree with. That's not very nice to
Yeah.
talk about these because these were pretty cool. My uncle actually scared me. I was kind of scared of an LJN figure. How ridiculous!
Wow.
It was a Hillbilly Jim figure.
Okay.
If I'm remembering correctly, and he didn't do anything but kind of rumble it like this, like on a table at me. And I was maybe 3 or 4 years old, and it really scared the hell out of me. And when I saw them on TV, and also the big guys like the Wild Samoans or whatever, the big puffy hair guys, they freaked me
guys,
almost
dude.
like Lou Albano would kind of scare the hell out of me.
That
These were
was when
big,
wrestling
hairy,
was
scary guys who were
huge.
just always
Yeah.
you know.
Absolutely.
Holy crap! So when like I said, my uncle just took a figure and he's just like, I'm coming to get you, and I just scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
So like I said, I didn't have any of these, but also back in the day, you had these LJN figures. They also had smaller ones, which I have one to show. And go figure, it's Hillbilly Jim. This is like a smaller, almost like a bendable. It was made by LJN, the LJN little bendy figures.
I thought you were going to talk about another Hillbilly Jim.
Oh man, the
which
thumb
is the
wrestler.
thumb wrestler. That was
Very
so
cool.
funny that you busted that out because
Wow.
I was like, what is he talking about? Wow, we both have Hillbilly Jims.
Hillbilly Jim.
That's crazy.
Now get him off the stage because he's gonna talk forever. All right, so
Talk forever.
what I really grew up on. So you grew up on these because you had an older brother and you
Yeah.
guys had these. I grew up with these are yours, but not mine. But
Yeah.
I grew up with these right here. Whoa. We got Hogan. We got Savage. And we got the Ultimate Warrior. And then you brought over the Andre. I never had Andres growing up. But I did have these three. Holy crap. I had so much fun with these. I had the ring. This was the and this is
Original and retro.
this is the collecting. This is where I started getting serious. When I
Yeah,
got back
yeah.
into collecting figures.
Me too.
I was hell bent on getting my Hasbro collection complete.
Yeah, you know what? I feel you on that so much because I had the main guys that I wanted, And at some point,
It just kept on going. It's just like, how can I have $1 million man without an IRS? You know?
Yeah.
And how can we need Virgil to be in there as well? It's like, how could you not? Yeah, there he is.
got them
You got
all, man.
Ted
You gotta have
DiBiase.
them all.
You gotta have them all together. Money Inc.
That
you
was
know?
the beauty of these figures, was that there were so many characters that you could just pull from, and it's like everybody from that time period was a character. So you could easily sell so many figures because there was so many loud personalities.
Yep.
Honky Tonk.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody that is and ever was. A figure that like most people don't even give a lot of praise to. Texas Tornado.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody. Yeah.
Figures like this. Owen.
Yep. Owen Hart.
Owen. Like figures that people really wanted. It was just great to be able to get them, and they're all in scale, and just was so many fun memories with these.
Growing up, I had so many of these. A lot of them broke, but of course, you have to. Funkenstein Superstore really is where I got like most of my Hasbros, and I have almost every one. I don't have, obviously, I don't have that last series, that big expensive series. You just keep on pulling them out, bro.
Yeah, why not?
Well, because we're gonna have to clean them up.
We'll move them.
Well, you forget about this guy right here.
Oh yeah, Hall of Famer. We've got
British Bulldog.
British
with
Bulldog.
His European title on.
Yep.
That's perfect. That's how I have mine set up as well.
Yeah.
I just love how they all have their own special moves. You get the body slam for the Hulk. And,
Yep. You got the foot stomp.
Yep. You got a foot stamp DiBiase. So that was the cool thing about these figures as well, is that just all the play mobility, and Texas Tornado does the whole. Oh, he doesn't twist. There we go.
Yeah, he's got just like a. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Boom.
Look at that. He's so fast you don't even see it. All right.
You gotta love him.
During and then like I think
How many series? How many series did they come out with these?
Oh, dude, I don't know.
I think it was up to 10 or
Like
something
10 or
like that.
11, yeah, maybe 11.
And then there was the cans. So I know them by color. That there was a orange card that was supposed to come out.
Card, yeah.
The red cards.
Orange card. The ones that I know that the orange card that was supposed to come out was included with like a diesel. We were gonna get a diesel. We were gonna get Jeff Jarrett. I think another.
It's like Midian or something like that.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after Hasbro's, I kind of wasn't really. I mean, you had Galoobs for WCW.
Yes. Yeah, there was a little interim of Galoob figures for WCW that came out.
These are kind of like a mini version.
Static pose.
Yeah, it's just
No articulation at all.
No,
bends or anything. They're
I
just
have a few of these. I have this thing. Actually, maybe I have.
came with a belt.
Yeah.
Always like a plasticky belt that was like wraparound, all one material.
Yep.
No real details or anything like that. Just painted on. They were, they were cool.
They gave you the option, so now you can wrestle your.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty much to scale.
Yeah, you can wrestle your Hasbros with them. It's not,
And some of them, like
Gotcha, you mother.
get him.
Rude.
Piper.
Oh, there he is. Piper's getting his own retro.
So yeah, and they're like just a hair taller, so it's like there's competition there.
Right. But,
But yeah, these were cool. They had the Steiners. I have Rick Steiner as well over here.
yeah.
Actually, yeah, it's the further away. I have my two rings set up over here with WCW era characters and WWF era characters. Ooh, I said F. Yeah,
Well, you could say it. We're not under Vince's thumb. Screw that guy. So then, after those came out, then they were making. They went from Hasbro. Hasbro lost the license. I think LJN, who made these, also then picked up WCW.
Oh wow.
I have one figure, and it is Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. And then Funkenstein Superstore had a signing.
It's got a Hogan sign on the side.
It's got Hogan on his thing, and then I had met him, and he signed his
Oh, he
figure.
signed it?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South.
That's awesome.
Yes. So I met Jimmy Hart.
2014.
19.
19.
That's when I met him. Yep.
Nice.
So LJN also dabbled in WCW and made these rubber figures. I also have Harlem Heat.
Yeah, they have it's like a bigger scale.
Right. And then WWF went to Jakks. And they made the Bone Crunchers.
All right.
Now, this is the era of figures that I had the most. I had so many of these figures. They always came out in like 4 packs. Like they just threw these figures at us. So this is Owen Hart. I brought him just for an out of box. But, all right, I have this. Don't tell my wife.
Yeah. Bring up those other.
This is yours.
Yeah, these are my guys here. We got, if you got to have an Owen.
The Jakks
gotta have
BCA,
Brett.
you got Owen, Brett. And this is so nice.
I love this
This
warrior.
warrior is amazing. And now, actually, this is my wife's because she's a big fan. But this is a Series 1
Wow.
Undertaker Jakks Superstar.
That's amazing.
And nice. So yeah, these were very cool because they had the better articulation. They're like softer. The arms are a little bit more rubbery and whatnot.
You can even
You
hear.
can have more fun than kind of with the Hasbros, where they're harder and whatnot. And then they also have the bone crunching action. Here, let me see. If I
Do it on camera.
We'll do it right here.
There you go.
So you can crack out their elbows and at their knees. So it's like, you're breaking my arm, brother. The power of the warrior will let you. Ah. So yeah. So Series 1 included
Bone
Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Bret the Hitman Hart, Diesel, Razor Ramon, and Goldust.
Nice.
And then they also they announced on the back here, if you want to look on the side, the WWF microphone.
Yeah.
I have that. Oh, yes, I do. I don't know
Nice.
why, but I do. And I bought it in the box. Thank you, Funkenstein.
Amazing.
That guy has got me a lot of cool stuff.
Super wrestling.
So, yeah, that was
store.
the Jakks bone crunching line.
Nice.
Something. And then in between, then, Just Toys made these Bendums.
Oh yeah, Bendums.
So we got I got Stone Cold and Mankind here, only because those are the 2 that I grabbed. If I only wanted 2, it would have been Goldust and Undertaker because they're on the box for the ring, which I
True.
also have the ring for. They made a ring for these. It's a little smaller. It's kind of like a bouncy canvas and whatnot. They don't really stand very well. They don't do anything really well. They're just, I guess they're cool. Just suplex, whatever. So yeah, I have almost all of these as well. After I finished getting what I could with the Hasbro line, I went for these Bendums because they were, again, almost same size scale, almost, And I figured, you put them with the Galoos. Look, dude, they're like, perfect
Pretty good, yeah.
as well.
And those actually move though. Like
But
you
these
can
are
move the
and then
arms
also
stuff.
and then I also was like kind of justifying, well, Hasbro would be like my classics, and the Bendums would be like my Attitude Era.
Right.
So it's all right that they're different lines and different figures or whatever. So I started on these, and these are a lot easier to come by in the wild. That not in good condition, because like I said, they're bendy. They will get bent out of whack, and then thrown in the toys. They get marked up really easily
nicks.
and whatnot. But I found a lot of these at yard sales and flea markets, and I was able to have an almost complete collection of this line.
Yeah,
as
they
well.
start to get expensive towards the later series.
Yes, the Rikishi and the Hardy Boys. I have the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
I do have those, but there's a Rikishi out there that's expensive, and
Yeah.
you know. But you know what? The later ones, they don't look as good either, though. So it's like I have the Hardy Boys, but their heads look too small for the body.
Yeah, I
It's
know what you
really
mean.
odd. Like they have a Jericho, same thing. The head just looks too small
The
for
face,
the body.
the face is too.
And for it to
close.
be expensive just because it was like one of the last to be released, so the least made, that's kind of sucks that you're like paying extra money for this ugly figure.
Yeah, I'm having the same problem with the diesel that did eventually come out from the retros. We'll talk about retros again later
Yeah.
as the timeline goes.
Yeah. Well, I didn't bring any of my Mattels, but that was where I went to next when it came
Okay.
to collecting. I went Hasbro, I went Bendham's. The only where else to go was Mattel's.
Okay. Well, for me, I would say my collecting went pretty similar. We got up to, what we spoke about with the Bone Crunchers. I really didn't have that many of those. But where I kind of went a little further with them was in the Titantrons.
There you go.
So Titantron,
Well, they came out right after. So that you had Jakks came out with the classic superstars, and then they came out with the Titantrons right after that. Because
Yeah.
the Titantrons came out with the Titantron, and it has the
the little foot.
little metal pieces that when you place it on the Titantron, it'll play the superstars music. And whatnot. It's Taz. Get out of here. The Loop and Bendham's.
Can't talk about this.
Hey, no, you can bring him. We could talk about him. Chris Benoit.
We got the
Listen, I'm a fan of true crime as well, so.
we got the Scotty Too Hottie.
Scotty Too Hottie.
Grandmaster Sexy. Yeah, I mean, like that time was a great time in wrestling. You had more characters as well. So
Yeah, like they made a lot of those figures, and a lot of them weren't that great.
yeah, that's true.
The company that's Wrestling Figure Workshop, they make figures out of like the Jakks classic bodies.
Okay.
So it's like, so these are Titantrons. Do you have any classics?
No, I don't think I have any classics. What would they be? Like the Jakks Pacific classics? Yeah, no, I don't have any of those.
No, you don't.
Nah.
So Jakks, I think a lot of Jakks, I think they have superior head molds.
Right.
A lot of the faces look better. I won't. Right now, the Mattel has the Elite Jerry Lawler out.
Okay.
I won't get them because I like my Jerry Lawler that I have is a Jakks classic. I
Yeah, the
think
Jakks
face
classics.
is better, but they're misproportioned. You put them next to a Mattel. Mattel
Right.
is more accurate to the person, that's their body type and whatnot. Jakks was basically, they didn't put into effect of size differences of actual people. So you'll have a Big Show and a Rey Mysterio being at the same height
Same size, yeah.
because they just used the same parts.
The
just-
tooling.
Yeah.
They
tooling.
they skimped out a lot of times and would use the same body or the same arms for the same, like just a different
Yeah,
character.
so when I started my Mattels, and finding stuff at flea markets and stuff, I didn't mind picking up certain Jakks because if the face was good,
Right.
like my Lashley is a Jakks.
Okay,
I
cool,
won't
yeah.
I won't get the Mattel Lashley because I think the Jakks that I have is just good enough.
Better,
Not to
yeah.
mention that I don't like him enough to
Get him
buy his
again.
finger now. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I think there was another figure that it was like way better face, but yeah, I definitely remember getting the Titantron itself
Yeah.
and a bunch of the figures.
Came with
and
Vince.
Yeah,
We got Vince.
yeah.
Yeah, so this was a fun line to collect. And then actually, like, right around this time, like right after this, I realized that I invested like so much into these lines that I was like kind of tapped out. So I got out of wrestling for a little while. I'm not gonna lie, I stopped watching for a little while. I would say the what was that, the ruthless aggression era, like with the Cena and
Yeah,
stuff.
so when you were, I kind of missed that whole era too.
I missed it.
I kind of dropped out around 2001. I remember watching.
Yeah.
I remember watching a pay-per-view And I remember being glued to everything
Yeah.
up until that point. And then, like, I remember it was definitely 2001 because it was around, it was definitely after 9/11.
After WCW, after
It
9/11.
was definitely after 9/11 because I don't know. I just remember that time, and I remember walking away and not even not
Yeah.
even being interested in what was going on. Some of the stuff that they were doing was just so stupid. I was like, "This is not wrestling."
Yeah, I know
I'm
what
not
you mean.
into it. And then while I didn't watch the ruthless aggression era started, and they
Yeah.
started doing all that stuff, so I didn't really saw like Daniel Bryan's big run and CM Punk's big run.
Oh,
and-
see,
and I missed.
I'm
a
thinking
lot of
even
that
before.
stuff.
I'm thinking even before that, like
Yeah,
where
no, yeah, absolutely.
Batista's run and
Right, Batista
Randy's
as well.
first run.
Yes.
Like I missed out on Cena's first run. I missed out on all of that because I just was like, this is like, I was at that phase where I was like, this is probably corny or whatever. Like,
Right. Yeah. No, I wasn't into it then either. But
Yeah.
I think collecting again got me back into it.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Like
I came back. The Shield was still a thing.
Yeah. We got some Shield members back here. We got Roman and Seth.
I think that's when I came back to wrestling.
Yeah.
I think I remember Sheamus becoming champion when he was
Yep.
like under
Sheamus
Triple
right over there.
H's- when he was under Triple
Right,
H's
right over
wing.
your shoulder with the
Oh, yeah,
Warrior.
with the Warriors.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I got back into wrestling collecting was with those. The first 2 packs are literally right behind you if you want to.
basics?
Yeah, so it's battle packs actually. I found out that there was that they were all holding each other up. Those 2, yep.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Tell me to do this. Why would
So-
you do that and tell me to do that?
Well, you started talking about them, all right?
What else you?
That one there, the Macho. So basically, the reason why I got back into collecting these wrestling toys was right after that era. So he said he missed out on the Daniel Bryan and the Punk run. When Punk was in, that's when I kind of started to come back. Because I saw somebody that I could relate to, and he was
Oh
just
yeah, you guys kind of look alike.
yeah, he's a cool character. So
You're a couple. You would get your ass kicked in a UFC ring.
you're right. Yeah, because I'm a lover. Anyway, so it was this one pack. I was like, this is it. If I'm gonna buy one wrestling thing, it was
CM
this.
Punk and Savage.
I just thought it was so cool that they mashed them up.
Right.
We say it all the time on the show that we're a big fan of mashups, and it was just cool to see a new era guy.
Well,
who's,
Punk wore those trunks in
Yeah.
tribute, so they just made that a figure, and they're just like, hey, may as well.
Yeah, and the cool thing is you got the belt on the Macho Man.
Right.
It's just a great representation of this character, and I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna have one, and then I just had this one sitting in my old house in my toy room there, which was a lot smaller. I just had this one pack, and this started it all. Then after that, it was right around when the Ultimate Warrior was at Wrestlemania. I had this pack in my hands at the then open Toys R Us. Had it in my hands. I saw it. At the time, my dog's name was Sheamus, so it was like
Oh yeah.
kind of like a wow. All right.
Figure fate.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, this is cool. I like Sheamus as a wrestler, and who doesn't love Warrior? So I was like, I have to buy this.
When you get on the plane, Hulk Hogan, and the pilot who has already made the sacrifice.
Such
Cool warrior. What were you
wordsmith.
talking about?
Yeah.
Nobody will know.
So I picked this up, and then he passed away, and it was just one of those like moments that just fell into place.
Right.
Just I knew I had to have it, so it was like I was glad that I did it, and it has like. Sometimes you collect toys and you have like a bunch of different versions. You're like, all right, I don't really need this character, but I have it. This was one that I actually attached some kind of sentimental value to.
Right.
So like out of all of them, like I have a ton of different warriors. I don't know, something about this one just like hits home with. I bought this figure the day that he passed away.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
how much more faithful can you get than that?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I got it when Mean Gene died.
Yeah.
I jumped immediately on eBay just to grab one before the prices went up.
Yeah. How'd you do? Did you get?
I got it for $15.
That's great.
The LJN.
Okay.
The LJN.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to go for his Mattel yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I think. No, they didn't announce him.
Yeah. And as you can see, I was
Hasbro,
leaving.
though. It's coming.
Yeah.
The retro's coming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
As you can see, I was keeping everything pretty much in package, and like I think I turned a turning point.
Your poor suffocating figures.
The age-old argument.
I take everything out. When I started collecting Mattels,
Everything
I get basics, and well, I just kind of started getting elites. I didn't mind getting basics, but the basics have become worse and worse.
Yeah, a little bit lazier.
production-wise. Yeah, you can't really do much with them anymore. You can't even bend their knees. They don't come with bendable knees. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, these are for, like, babies, for, like, little kids to just bang together.
Right.
Because you can't do anything with them, stand them up or nothing like that. They got no ankle articulation.
Right.
The arms just go up like this. Well, whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I was just going for looks. Just like
Yeah.
the best looking guy.
And the
I was
basics-
going for ring attire, not
accurate,
entrance,
yes.
entrance attire, because it's just too much.
Yeah.
If you have as many people as I do, you just want them just to be
Displayed.
yes.
Yeah.
And if you just have everybody just like in their entrance position with arms open and whatnot, I'll just have no room for anything.
Right.
So I was going for I'd go from classic people from like Bruno Sammartino,
Oh, yeah.
Rocky Johnson, and and I go into like George Animal Steel with the fuzzy
Yep.
body like I have.
God, yes.
It looks like pubic hair glued to
Oh,
a figure.
God.
It's basically what it looks like. But
Watch out for them repros.
I was just going for the classic guys, and then I started watching again. So then modern guys started getting in my head, and then
Right.
I'm watching on the WWE network, watching the the Monday Night War. So I'm like, man, I need WCW figures, So I was
Yeah.
buying it was Jakks who was making. No, I'm sorry, it was San Francisco toy makers were making the WCW figures, which were pretty much hard plastic like the WWF Hasbro, but they had
Yes.
articulation. They moved their arms and legs.
Yeah.
Those were awesome. I still have a bunch of them. I have the NWO. I have Sting.
Nice.
and Giant.
They were like this big.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They were about the size of the Bendhams and the Galoobs as well.
Yeah.
But they were articulated and a little harder. They had like these exposed pins. You see like the pinholes on
Right.
their arms and legs. But you have Macho Madness and all that. And then also they made we can't forget about the wrestling buddies that Hasbro made WWF had
Yeah,
the
there's
wrestling
the
buddies,
original
and then the
wrestling buddies.
WCW San Francisco Toymakers ones. You got the NWO, and you got this guy Wolfpack Sting.
Wolfpack Sting.
Woo! Winter is not coming with this guy.
No.
Silly.
Wolfpack's back.
And that's the thing with these wrestling toys. They can go and do so many things.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yes, they can fall down a whole bunch and lose all their accessories.
Get
They
bald.
can rock out.
So do you think is there an end all be all for your figures now? Like, are you good or are you still collecting?
So I largely stopped with the 6-inch like Mattel Elite style.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just got to a point where I like too many different characters to just keep going, and I just try to get I started realizing how many Finn Balor's I had to buy, and I was like,
Yeah.
it's just a lot of a lot of resources to dedicate to that. I think there is a be all end all. the defining moments. When the defining moments figures started coming out,
You got
I was absolutely
Why did they stop
hooked.
those? Why did they stop?
I was so hooked.
I don't understand why they stopped. They were great. They are great figures.
The beauty of being able to get a Sting with his jacket and the bat in the black and white face paint was like mind blowing. Had to have.
You know what's crazy? It's like I remember seeing these figures on the shelves at Toys R Us. Like
Me too.
I bought that the Stone Cold with the three
The
belts.
Stone Cold.
And I
3
have,
belts.
Dude, I bought that Macho for $15.
Me too.
At a toy show, and the guy, it wasn't even his table who was running it.
Oh no, that's
That was when he
that's
gave
your
me.
story, yeah.
That's when he gave me the $5 Enzo Amore.
Yep.
So I got that and an Enzo Amore Elite.
But loose though, right?
No, box.
That was in the box.
Both of them.
What?
$20
Oh no.
for the
That's a
pair. I
steal.
walked away, and I heard the guy get yelled at by the. He goes, "How
You
much?"
what?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Stupid. He doesn't even work there anymore. That's why it's worth more.
Yeah. So it was this. This was the line that
Yeah.
like.
Oh, I see
put
you
it
have
over the
Retro
edge.
Fest too, by the
Yes.
way. Retro
Oh, my God.
Fests were awesome.
So
I have the Macho Man there too.
you can kind of tell I have arcade one up behind me. So like I'm a video game guy through and through. So when I see a video game boxed arcade figures from like let's say WrestleFest era, oh my God! Like I feel like because I'm a gamer and I grew up in that era, like having a WrestleFest-esque figure.
Do you know that they're coming out with the WrestleFest arcade? It's a game.
Oh, a game.
And they set it up in a one-up.
Yes,
arcade
you
machine.
can do that.
No, they did. They are.
I have mine modded to do that. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, but I can play.
They got the new game.
Oh, the new game, yes.
And they're putting
it's,
it in a one-up.
yes.
I think Cardona and Hawkins already have one.
Yep.
Without even having the game, I think.
Well, the game is out. The game is out on Twitch. It's really cool. Check it out. If you're into that wrestling nostalgia from the button.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Play out that. So yeah, I mean, like that's kind of where my collecting
I'm
got
still in
to.
it. AEW.
You're in.
What about how you feel about AEW?
I'm a big supporter of AEW.
Do you have any of the figures?
I don't have any of the figures. See, now that's the thing. I would like to keep going, but it's just too much.
Well, I'm being selective as well with these.
Right.
If there are certain like I'm not gonna get the Matt Hardy because I have Matt Hardy and he can just move
Yeah.
from this part of the shelf to the other. I have no problem mixing my Jazz wares with my Mattels. I'm just
Absolutely.
gonna tell you that right now. So I'm not getting Pac because I have a cool Neville.
Yeah.
I'm not getting Moxley because I have a cool Ambrose.
Right.
You know, I had no problem putting FDR, my
FTR,
revival in my FTR spot. So that's really cool. My Brody is in there.
Yeah,
like I
gotta
had
have him.
I had the Bludgeon Brothers Brody.
Oh, amazing.
So it's perfect because he
Rest in peace.
has the man bun.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was like kind of perfect. So I'm kind of in on AEW, but I'm able to be selective with the guys who weren't.
Right. Yeah.
Mattels already.
You got a Ray Phoenix.
I just got a Ray Phoenix. I got the Darby Allin. I got an
Nice.
MJF. I got a Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
I have the whole first wave. I had pre-ordered for Ringside Collectibles. So I have that whole first wave. That's Cody, Jericho, the Bucks, Brandy, and someone. And then the second wave was I grabbed Hangman Page.
Yep.
And Dustin Reynolds,
Yep.
aka Gold Dust.
Yeah.
And then there was the Phoenix and Penta.
Yes.
I grabbed the Phoenix, no Penta yet.
No Penta
But
yet.
yeah, I'm kind of in it. And the Ultimates.
Oh, the Ultimates
All
are
right, so
so
now
great.
we have the WWE Ultimates, and these are pretty cool. They are updated articulation. They do more. They're just like more elite than the elites.
Yeah,
I
they're-
guess.
Yeah, more posable. lot more swappability.
What's cool is you have this NWO shirt actually opens from the front, so you finally have a whole shirt that opens from the front,
Yeah.
which is pretty badass. Yeah, I guess they're cool. They release them 2 at a time.
Yeah.
They're okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm in though. On some.
I was in on this because it's just so funny. The Ultimate Warrior.
Right.
I just found that hysterical. So
Ultimate.
Ultimate
And this is
Ultimate
cool
Warrior.
too because this is his WCW Halloween Havoc run.
Yeah.
And he had that cool ass jacket that it comes with.
Yeah.
And this is the Hollywood Hogan that everybody's been wanting forever.
Yeah.
So we finally got it.
Things that we were like pretty much cheated out of growing up. We didn't get figures that looked like these.
He's got himself on his boots.
That's amazing.
You can see it. Very cool. And if you get the Wreckin' Undertaker motorcycle, I think this Hogan would look great on it.
I was talking about Finn Balor's.
Oh
there's,
yeah,
the
let's talk
Mutants
about
line.
let's talk about like the different
Mashups.
type of wrestlers that they did.
Yeah.
So they had the Mutants line, where they had they're like monsters.
Yeah.
They also had the Zombies line,
Yes.
where they
Zombies
had
line.
them as zombies. They crossovered with the Ninja Turtles with 2 waves.
Got both of those.
They crossovered with Ghostbusters, which
Yes.
I have those.
I have some of those.
What else did they cross over?
Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe. How could I forget? Like, amazing. Like, I love crossovers, and if you're gonna have wrestlers crossover with everything, yeah, I'm in.
Unreal.
I'm in.
Amazing.
I want to take a minute and also talk about the retro line.
Yeah.
The retro line was really awesome.
Yeah, so like you said, when we were getting back into collecting, we had the luxury of going back and getting all of the original Hasbros.
Right.
But then, the characters fizzled out. So, you didn't get like certain characters that you would have gotten.
Right.
So when the line was canceled, we were left with what you got was what you got.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think we were clamoring for more Hasbros.
Yeah.
I mean, because right after that, then came out the Bone Crunchers, and then came out the Mattels, and everything just got more accurate. And,
Yeah.
it was fine. But for the vintage collector, I think it would have been cool I think the retro line was awesome. Mm-hmm. All right, so they started out, and they started with actual classic characters, but also modern characters. So
Right.
now you can have all these dream matches with your Hasbros because these Mattels were kind of made the same way, same size. His Roman Reigns was very sought after, by the way. So you're lucky to have that one, bud.
Yeah, I ended up scooping him. I was a big fan of the Shield when they came out, and I actually didn't buy him on card. I had to buy him loose, and this is the most I've ever spent on a single figure was $65 to get this guy.
Wow.
And I said to myself, I'm never gonna do this again because I can't justify spending that much for a single figure. But you know what? It is Roman. He is head of the table, and he kind of dictates what goes on. So.
Yeah.
We're gonna put him there, and these retros. So this is from the first series.
They had how many? I think it was 6.
I believe it was 6.
6 waves.
Yeah.
And
so
it had,
I have them surrounding my room over
around.
here.
That's why you keep on looking at me. I'm like looking up. It's because I'm surrounded by them on the border of this room.
I have nearly every single one of them on
on
card.
card. But they came out with guys that you didn't get. Like you got a Junkyard Dog.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
who I don't have.
an Iron Sheik. Oh yeah. You don't have
I
it?
have Sheik.
Iron Sheik, but then they made Attitude Era guys, so you had like Kurt Angle, and you had Mankind, you had
Kane,
Shawn
finally.
Michaels, Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold, and then they made modern guys like AJ Styles and
Xavier Woods, The New
Seth
Day,
Rollins,
Kofi Kingston, Seth Rollins, The
Finn
Shield,
Balor,
Finn Balor,
Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Sheamus,
and they even
like
gave
Braun.
some WCW love. You
Yeah.
got two different Stings.
Red face Sting and white face Sting. You have 2 red face things, bro.
I do have 2 red face things.
And, and you have 2 rocks.
I have 2 rocks.
Wow.
And I have 2 Jeff Hardys.
They have flare. They made.
Yeah, they made a flare, a better flare, a revision flare.
Yeah.
Awesome flare. Yeah, Goldberg. You had a Jericho from that line.
Right. So, with the announcement that made this week with the return of the retros, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Also, I mean, Super 7 is now making wrestling figures as well.
And the Zombie Sailors.
Zombie Sailors making the, heels and faces.
Yeah.
Which are like Hasbro's. They look like Hasbro's. They're drawn like Hasbro's with the renderings that they've been showing. So those are very exciting to see come. But then Super 7, let's moving from the retro type back into like full scale. Super 7 has made an Andre the Giant that a lot of people have been very impressed with.
Yeah, that's really
They're
cool.
also making Matt Cardona and Brian Myers as well.
Oh, cool.
For their wrestling figure podcast. It's like a lot of like it's the wrestling figure podcast has become a really big thing for them, and then they just made their deal with Super 7 through the podcast and making their own figures, which come with their own action figures. It's an action figure that comes
Holding
with
an action figure.
which is how I have them in my collection. I have them holding up the little not the micro brawlers, but I think they're mini fighter, mini something, whatever. So I have them holding their own, not their own, but action figures.
Yeah.
And don't forget, I mean, Funko Pop.
Oh yeah,
makes,
keeping the line alive.
All the wrestling, all the wrestling stuff. I think I just saw something as well on WWE. It's not Funko, it's Foco.
Oh.
Which is a bobblehead company.
Okay.
And they make WWE bobbleheads, but they also made this one. It depicts Edge doing the spear on Hardy off the ladder.
Oh my god!
But they're bobbleheads, so the positioning kind of looks kind of weird. Okay. I love the sentiment because if you guys see this shirt I'm wearing, it's like
an actual scene,
like a scene rendition of Jake the Snake and Macho Man on the ropes when he made Macho Man get bit by the snake.
Yep, Damien.
I wanted a picture like this, but of the spear off the ladder.
Yep.
And then I saw this bobblehead thing, and I'm just like, I wish they did it, executed it better. I'm not going to get it because it's just, they're bobbleheads, first off. Who collects I don't collect bobbleheads. I shouldn't have said who collects bobbleheads. I say that to a guy at my job. I'm sorry. A guy at my job knows that I collect. He's like, you ever see any bobbleheads? I'm like, who collects bobbleheads? Because I never see them out there.
Inside joke, yeah.
But, so there's that.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions. Favorite wrestling figures.
Yeah,
most unique.
I gotta say, I was really happy to get the Road Warriors, even though it's their blue vests. I'm still happy to have the Road Warriors. Rest in peace, both of them.
Rubbing it in my face. He's rubbing it in my face right now.
Well, he knows they're gonna go to him once I.
You're right.
Kick the butt.
After he licks their balls, he's like, I'm gonna give them away.
They're still in package. Their balls will be ugly. For me, it's having a signed Bret Hart figure, which is enshrined somewhere in my collection. You'll have to come over to see it.
Yeah.
It's the kind of things like that are sentimental to me. My defining moments mean so much to me. Growing up, Austin figures, anything Austin was just so appealing. He was such a badass character. And I have an entire shrine right behind you dedicated to
Undertaker.
Oh,
there'll be a picture right here.
Yeah, we'll take a nice shot of that. But yeah, it's set up in a coffin, which was given to me by my good friend JDR. Follow him on YouTube, JDR. He decided to loan me this coffin, and he said, I don't really have space for this.
If I move.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
So there it is. We have the coffin. There's some Undertaker figures and some serial killers in there as well. Yeah, basically, this is something that I like to display out here, especially since he was recently retired, and he's been like one of my all-time favorites. The Undertaker definitely deserves a shrine in my collection. So I have it set up inside this coffin here. This coffin was for the limited edition belt, which Jack does have. He also has the other limited edition, which was one in 500. So that's really cool. Yeah, he's coming back in. But yeah, just any character that can transcend that many decades and keep people coming back and just nostalgic, great feels, I'm down with it. So you'll see me collecting Machos and Warriors and Hogans, guys that I grew up with. You gotta love,
Absolutely.
The good feelings you get from them.
Me, my honorable mentions, they're gonna go to. I love one of my favorite pieces I have. I have a hardcore title kids belt signed by Mick Foley, the hardcore legend. I also have a picture of me with him when it was getting it done. Like one of my favorite things. I collect the kids belts, the kid size belts.
This size, yeah, I do too.
They're easier to collect. They're only $20 when you find them. The older ones are a little easier. They're kind of easy to find out in the wild, yard sales and stuff like that. So the older foam belts from Jakks Pacific, I have a lot of those. I have almost every one.
Yeah.
All the titles, all of them.
Tag teams, it doesn't matter. He's got them all.
Yeah, like I have all the way up to the 24/7 soft one.
Yeah.
That really soft one that they have on WWE Network.
You got the European, you got the NXT Cruiserweight.
Cruiserweight, yep.
Yeah.
I have all four different versions of the tag team belts, of the modern tag team belts, plus the older tag team belts, the WCW and the WWF tag team. I have all.
Wow, you went
So
in.
yeah. Honorable mentions to those belts.
Yeah,
I
that's a
love
great
those.
collection.
And if I have a shrine to any superstar, I think I would probably say I have the most of is probably Macho Man.
Yeah, Macho.
I mean,
is so
Macho is
huge.
probably my favorite. He's just, you know what I'm saying, brother? You gotta cut to the bottom of the case. You gotta rise to the top. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
I have the Macho Man, the Slim Jim Macho Man that came from Entertainment Earth. I'm really looking forward for that Slim Jim display.
Yes,
It's like
that's
his
a cool,
open head.
Yeah, it's like a bust size.
Yeah, I would love one of those. I'm getting that Garbage Pail Kids crossover Macho Man. I have the Jada cars. It's like a orange Jeep that comes with a little iron Macho Man. You know, Miss Elizabeth. I have the Retro Fest that you have here. I have the Defining Moments one. All his Hasbros. And I have a couple of Macho Madness. You got the Macho. Then you, I have. Don't
You
you
have the
have
buddy.
Yeah, the
probably,
Macho Madness buddy. Yeah, he's probably like my top favorite. I thought he was one of the best wrestlers, one of the best guys on the mic.
Yeah.
He can do color commentating, and he can also get serious as a mother, and like he will fuck you up, and he's like, I ain't messing with you.
Yeah.
Make Jake the Snake make his snake bite him first.
Yeah.
I mean, how badass is that? That Jake was like, all right, I'll do it. Jesus. Ow. But
Yeah, and I would say also Sting is up there for me.
Yeah.
I put him right in there with the Sting and Undertaker set, the black and white, the red and black, Surfer, and the
Crow.
All American. Sting has just been transcending, and now in AEW, more power.
winter is coming.
Yeah,
It's so weird. Why do they keep that?
yeah. But no, this has been fun taking a little journey.
I mean, and these are athletes who tell a story with their bodies.
Yeah.
And wrestling is awesome, man.
Yeah.
And the toys are even better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude.
We're having fun with it. Good shit.
Dude. Never enough
Never
toys, wrestling figure edition for Wrestlemania weekend. This was part 2 of episode 3. We're glad you came back. Maybe we kind of separated it. I was thinking in hindsight afterwards, thinking, you know what, this is good for collectors who aren't into wrestling.
Yeah.
So it was good to separate it, and this is for guys who also collect wrestling and
Yeah.
more interested. If you're not into wrestling and you still listened, hopefully you got a bit of an education of how figures kind of evolved over time and
Yeah.
how we all collected them. And for Never Enough Toys podcast, I am Rich.
And I'm Chris.
And we want to thank you for joining us. Follow us on Instagram, Never Enough Toys. Join our Facebook group at Never Enough Toys. Follow us, Never Enough Toys Podcast on Facebook. NET Toy _ Toy Show on Twitter. We don't do anything there, but if we are there,
We're there.
it's just because.
We're here. We're there. We're
Here,
everywhere.
there, and we're here for you. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, and also in the Facebook group, we do a lot of sharing. So if you guys want to tell us what your stories were of how you collected wrestling toys,
Maybe we'll
you
have
wanna tell us.
maybe we'll have a Q&A section
Yeah.
afterwards, or we'll answer questions of anything. That would be cool. Whatever.
Yeah,
Questions,
I love seeing the
comments,
posts in there.
concerns.
So keep them coming. We really appreciate doing this for you guys. It's really just like awesome to just get the stuff off of our chests and
Right,
you know,
and we're just
really-
we're just trying to have fun, just talking about toys.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we're recording it and hopefully everybody's having fun. How can I talk? Haha. I don't know how to talk anymore. Hopefully everybody is having fun, just like we are.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Never Enough Toys Podcast, episode 3 to a close.